Hello everyone and welcome back to Lucky Loaders 15, where I'll be giving you just the one pick for tomorrow's racing. Now before we get into that, let's quickly just recap on how our selections performed today. In the end, it wasn't a bad day here on our YouTube channel as we did find a winning nap. Now I should say my winning nap today was Potter's Legend. Now I advertised it in the video last night in the graphic and in the video at 5 to 2, but as soon as I'd done the editing I realised that Bo Bay had become a substantial non-runner, and therefore I had to change his price to 2 to 1. But I did make it clear, I did put it in the description box, so if you saw it, and there's always a link to my tips in the description box, you can always see what they are. I made a little note saying that the prices had changed at the time of recording, so the price I'm going with for the profit and loss is 2 to 1 because that was the price he was at the time of recording. But yeah, I did make it clear, and it wasn't something that I went back to later. The note was in there at the beginning of the video. But yeah, Potter's Legend, it was a nice performance by him in the end for Jack Quinlan and Lucy Warden. There were a couple of nervy moments where he was maybe a little bit close at a couple of his fences, but as the race unfolded he just showed his class really, and the others weren't up to much, and in the end he was quite a convincing winner. He was very well supported, ended off going a touch on of odds on before the off. So yeah, that was a good result there for us. The one that did let us down was Generous Day. He made a mistake actually when they were going down the back straight, when they were going down where they've got the 5 fences there at Warwick that come at you thick and fast. He made a massive blunder at one of them and it just knocked the stuffing out of him, but I don't think he would have won the race anyway. King's D'Argent was an absolute freak today. Great jumper, travelled lovely, and in the end was a very convincing winner and beat some nice horses in that race. But yeah, no excuses there. Generous Day, despite making that mistake, he wouldn't have won the race, or I don't think he probably would have even finished in the first 2. But yeah, it wasn't a bad day here on my YouTube channel. We found a winning nap, and hopefully we can continue that form into our last selection of March. So like I said at the top of the video, just the one tip for tomorrow's racing, and we're going to be going to the jumps action at Hexham, where we're going to be going to the 410, and I'm going to be going with a horse here called Farocco for Kane Yeoman, claiming 7, and he's riding for Morris Barnes. Now this is a really weak race on paper, but I quite fancy the chances of Farocco. You can currently back him at 8 to 1 at the time of recording. That price was available with William Hill, and I'm going to recommend a 1-point win bet here. Going to back him to win on the nose because I think tomorrow could be his day. Now he is a maiden, he still does have to put it all together to search for that first win, but I thought his run last time at Wetherby was actually really encouraging, and I do think he has a race in him of his current rating of 83. Now that race was won by Peltwell for Neil Mulholland, and that horse had won its previous start at Wincanton, and that form at Wetherby's actually been boosted because Peltwell, if you were watching the racing today, was a winner at Newcastle. He couldn't jump at all, but he was able to get the job done, and it was a great ride in the end by Danny McMenamin. Now we're actually going to be seeing Peltwell run again tomorrow at Hexham. He goes in the first race I think, but we've got a different jockey aboard this time. I believe it's Shane Quinlan, not to be confused with Sean Quinlan, but it is Shane Quinlan claiming 5, but we'll see if the form can get another boost there. But yeah, that form at Wetherby's been boosted, and even the horses that were in and around him, you had Ruckwa of Sam England there. That horse had actually been running in some decent races for the grade at Newcastle, actually hadn't finished outside of the first 3 on its last 3 starts before that Wetherby one, and one of those runs included a win, so that was a nice rival there for the grade. And also as well, the 4th place horse Top Beak for Max Young, he'd actually won on his previous start at Catterick. So Farocco that day split some informed horses for the grade, and he's a horse that he does show glimmers from time to time, but I just think last time out was his best run he'd shown for quite a while, and he could be dangerous off a mark of 83. Like I said, this is a pretty weak race, but I think he's got a chance in this race, and with the £7 as well of Kane Yeoman coming off his back, that's also going to be a massive positive there. Also as well, actually, if you go back to some of his form earlier this season, he actually ran at Sedgefield where he bumped into Tommy's Oscar, and he wasn't discredited at all that day. He had to give him £3, and Tommy's Oscars now is actually rated nearly 140. It'd be interesting to see what handicap it gives him for his Kelso win, but he's definitely been a smart horse this season for Anne Hamilton. So Farocco, on his day, he is very capable, and I think he's got a good chance tomorrow at the prices of this mark. I think going back up and trip again won't be an issue too, and I think this better ground as well will be in his favour. And I just think at 8-1 tomorrow, I'm willing to take a price about him there, because I think this is a really weak race, and a lot in here look quite exposed to me or haven't come in here with some good form. So for me, I think Farocco is a bet at 8-1, and that's why he's going to be my nap of the day, and I'm going to recommend a 1-point win bet there. So that's the only tip for tomorrow's racing. Farocco in the 4:10 at Hexham. So if you're enjoying these videos, please remember to hit the thumbs up button, and also as well subscribe here to my YouTube channel at LuckyLoaders15. Also as well, if you want to follow me on social media, the only place you can do is on Twitter, where my handle is at LuckyLoader15. And if you want to find out a little bit more about myself, my website address is www.chrisloaderracing.co.uk. So please gamble responsibly. Hopefully we can have a winner tomorrow, and we'll be seeing you soon.